Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today, because we are about to plunge way past the familiar sunlit waves to explore an alien world that actually makes up the vast majority of our planet. Close your eyes for just a second. Picture every city, every towering forest, and every mountain valley you've ever seen. Got it? Well, all of those places combined wouldn't fill even a tiny fraction of the deep ocean abyss. By volume, this hidden place is literally Earth's largest habitat. But here is the truly wild part. A staggering 90% of the global ocean sits quietly out of sight, locked in near or total darkness. Okay, let's dive into this. If the fundamental rules of biology up here depend entirely on the sun, what actually happens to life when the sun's energy completely runs out? Imagine plunging into the pitch black, where the physical constraints on life are pushed to the absolute extreme. To answer that, here is our dive plan for this explainer. We'll start in the twilight zone, then drop into the crushing midnight zone. After that, we'll meet the titans of the abyss, touch down on the endless ocean floor, and finally discover hydrothermal vents and anomalies. Let's get going. Section 1, the twilight zone. Dropping to between 200 and 1,000 meters down, you'll notice the sunlight rapidly fading away into this gloomy blue, and plant life completely disappears because, well, photosynthesis is just no longer possible. So without photosynthesis, what do you eat? Deep sea creatures rely on what scientists call marine snow. Now, it sounds a little gross, I know, but this continuous fall of dead particles, fecal pellets, and organic debris drifting down from the bustling, sunlit waters above is the primary food source here. It's the essential fuel for the entire deep sea ecosystem. But eating is only half the battle, right? Avoiding being eaten is just as tough. In this gloomy environment, having nowhere to hide is a massive problem. If a predator below looks up, your dark silhouette against the faint surface light is going to give you away instantly. To survive this, many creatures play a brilliant optical game called counter-illumination. They literally emit chemical light from their bellies to perfectly match the faint background light filtering down from above. They're effectively erasing their own shadows. What's truly staggering is the sheer scale of this phenomenon. Over 90% of the creatures down here use this biological light, bioluminescence, to camouflage, hunt, and communicate. Light is their primary language. Take the Atolla jellyfish, for example. When it gets attacked, it flashes this strobing pinwheel of blue light. It acts exactly like a burglar alarm, illuminating the dark water to scream for help, hoping to attract an even bigger predator to come along and eat its attacker. How smart is that? But nature, as always, is a constant evolutionary arms race. Let's compare squid camouflage with the totally bizarre vision of the barrel-eye fish. Squids use that glowing counter-illumination to hide, right? Well, the barrel-eye fish has evolved a completely see-through transparent dome for a head, and these massive, upward-facing eyes pigmented bright green. That green pigment acts as a natural filter to bust right through the squid's glowing camouflage, allowing the barrel-eye fish to easily spot its hidden prey against the glow. Incredible. Section 2, the crushing midnight zone. Leaving that dim light behind, we are now plunging from 1,000 to roughly 4,000 meters deep. Down here, it is pitch black, and the physical constraints on life are pushed to absolute extremes. In this pitch black layer, the most terrifying reality is the hydrostatic pressure. Down at the bottom of the midnight zone, the pressure can reach a mind-bending 400 atmospheres. To put that into perspective for you, that's the equivalent of the crushing weight of 50 jumbo jets resting directly on your body. So the crucial point is, how on earth do you survive that? Well, rigid terrestrial skeletons like ours would literally shatter. But creatures down here have evolved incredibly soft, gelatinous, water-filled bodies. Because water itself can't be compressed, these squishy bodies endure the crushing weight effortlessly. Basically, being made almost entirely of water is a massive biological advantage in the deep. And the predators down here, they are perfectly adapted to the absolute darkness. The terrifying loosejaw dragonfish has a brilliant secret weapon. In total darkness, almost no deep-sea creature can actually see red light. So the dragonfish evolved an invisible red bioluminescent searchlight right beneath its eye. It sweeps this red beam through the dark to spotlight its prey, all while remaining completely hidden itself. It's like a secret sniper scope. Section 3, Titans of the Abyss. As we sink even deeper, something truly bizarre happens. The normal rules of animal scale just completely break down. we enter the realm of deep sea gigantism, where animals that are tiny on land transform into massive alien titans. Your everyday garden pillbug? It has a deep sea cousin called the giant isopod, which scuttles across the ocean floor at the size of a small dog. And consider the sharks. The great white is famous, sure, but the deep sea Greenland shark is a titan that can grow up to 7 meters long and live for an astounding 400 to 500 years. That makes them the longest living vertebrates on Earth. But why grow so huge when food is so incredibly rare? Well, extreme freezing temperatures slow their metabolisms down to a near standstill. A massive body acts as an impenetrable defense against predators and allows these titans to store huge reserves of fat for months or even years between rare meals. That Greenland shark we just talked about, it cruises at a glacial pace of just 0.7 miles per hour to conserve its energy. Section 4. The Endless Ocean Floor. Dropping down to 4,000 meters, we finally touch down on the abyssal plain. This is an endless, flat desert of ancient silt and marine snow that covers more than half the surface of the Earth. It's actually the largest single ecosystem on our planet. Life on this desert floor revolves around extreme patience and incredibly rare windfalls of food, like a sunken whale carcass. Predators here are masters of waiting. The red sea toad, for instance, rarely even swims. Instead, it saves energy by literally walking along the mud on its modified fins. To remain perfectly still and undetectable, it takes massive gulps of water and just holds its breath for up to 4 minutes at a time. Now, what about reproduction? I mean, how do you find a mate in millions of cubic miles of pitch black emptiness? The deep-sea anglerfish has a beautifully grim solution called sexual parasitism. Step 1, the tiny male tracks the giant female using powerful scent organs. Step 2, he bites onto her side. Step 3, his tissues literally melt and fuse into her body. And finally, their bloodstreams connect forever. It sounds a bit harsh, I know, but it ensures that once a mate is found in the dark void, they are never, ever lost. Section 5. Hydrothermal Vents and Anomalies. For our final stop, we're moving right across the abyssal plain to the seams of the Earth, where the tectonic crust literally cracks open. This is where biology gets truly alien, and life completely ignores the sun. At these hydrothermal vents, you have unbelievable extremes. Superheated water is vomiting out of the Earth's core at 400 degrees Celsius, laced with toxic chemicals like hydrogen sulfide. It's a boiling, toxic environment that absolutely shouldn't support life. Yet, it features thriving ecosystems based entirely on chemosynthesis. That means they're making energy from chemicals instead of sunlight. The absolute masters of this extreme environment are the giant tube worms. They grow up to 3 meters tall. But here is the craziest part. They don't have mouths and they don't have stomachs. Instead, they rely entirely on a symbiotic relationship, farming billions of sulfur-eating bacteria directly inside a specialized organ in their bodies. The microbes eat the toxic chemicals, and the worms just live off the energy the microbes produce. It's a perfect partnership. Now, before we ascend, we really have to acknowledge the floating anomalies above these regions. The Keohimia comb jelly literally flies through the water like a biplane to catch plankton. Then you have the bloody belly comb jelly, which has a deep red stomach acting like a blackout curtain, so when it eats glowing prey, the light doesn't shine through its stomach and attract predators. And the rare gossamer worm? When threatened, it spews a brilliant glowing yellow mucus to confuse attackers while it makes a quick escape. Seeing all this brings up a pretty profound realization, don't you think? This freezing, pitch-black environment is actually the default state of our planet. The deep-sea creatures we've just seen are the biological majority on Earth. It's actually us, the surface dwellers basking in the sun, who are the true outliers here. But this deep, dark world operates on a very delicate, ancient timeline. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. We have explored less than 5% of the biological majority of our planet. Every single time we send a submersible down, we find bizarre new survival strategies and brand new species. So how will we protect this beautiful, perfectly balanced architecture of the abyss, a world we are only just beginning to understand? Thank you so much for exploring the deep with me today in this explainer. Stay curious, and I'll see you on the next adventure.